Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Hagen-Botham Insurance and Financial Services.
This show focuses on sharing good news and powering the good in our community. Now here's your host, Andrew Bartolotta.
Welcome back to the City Current Show, where we bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good in our community and around the globe. I'm your host, Andrew Bartolotta, and we're thrilled to have Lisa Anderson with us today, the founder of Room in the Inn, Memphis, joining us to discuss the transformative program that has turned houses of worship into sanctuaries of hospitality and safety for those experiencing homelessness. Since its inception in 2009, Room in the Inn has expanded its reach and now includes a wide array of services aimed at providing emergency shelter, recuperative care, and support for families on their journey toward sustainable housing. Lisa, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Andrew. It's great to be with you.
Of course. First, let's start off with sharing the story of how Room in the Inn Memphis began and what inspired you to start this initiative.
I can't take total credit for it. About 15 years ago, I was pastoring a small congregation in East Memphis. And although I had known about the model of Room in the Inn that began in Nashville 36 years ago by a Catholic priest there wasn't a program like that in Memphis. But the congregation I was serving was a small group of people without a lot of financial resources, but we had a large building. And we had become involved in a food sharing ministry downtown. The first winter after that, we began to struggle with how little shelter there was available for people. That was free, that was small and safe, small numbers. So we just thought, let's use this big building for something that we feel like can make a difference, and began to take small numbers of people from the street that we were meeting during food sharing and welcome them into our safe space to sleep. We did that for 3 years on our own. We started to have other congregations that were bringing in meals and helping us with hospitality. And number one mission for Room in the Inn is to offer emergency shelter through hospitality as an expression of our faith. And so hospitality is the main thing. So that's why Room in the Inn has small numbers of homeless people in each location. So we did that. We began then to realize maybe other people want to be involved in this, and started inviting other congregations to join us. And almost 15 years later, we have over 40 congregations helping right now, but right before COVID, we had up to 55. So it's been really exciting to watch it grow.
Absolutely. And can you walk us through how the Congregational Shelter program works and then the impact it has had during the colder months throughout the year?
Absolutely. Created as a winter shelter program, emergency winter shelter. Each congregation agrees to provide transportation to and from downtown, a safe place for 12 to 15 people to sleep, a meal that's shared with volunteers in an atmosphere of hospitality and welcome, and transportation back, usually with a little bit of breakfast and a sack lunch maybe. So that's the basic commitment that each congregation makes.
I like that you have so many different congregations collaborating together for the need of the unhoused and be able to provide them shelter and hospitality. It's so important, especially during the cold winter months. Now, in 2021, Room in the Inn opened the Mid-South's first Recuperative Care Center. City Current partners in our community were able to tour it recently, and it is a tremendous undertaking and beautiful space that you've been able to transform. Talk about what led to the creation of this facility and what services it provides.
Yes, thank you for asking. It's been a very exciting thing to watch become reality after a lot of dreaming. Very early on in our congregational shelter program, we began to see people who were coming to us for shelter who were ill, who had just been released from the hospital. Maybe they had had a surgery very recently, even an outpatient procedure that day. They came to us with hospital gowns. They came to us needing medications. They obviously were not well enough to be living on the street, or even we felt a little bit at a loss of how to care for them in that night-to-night shelter program. We did our best. Our volunteers were amazing and went above and beyond, helping people get medications, helping people, be comfortable in that process. But we knew we weren't doing what was best for people. So the board began to make a strategy for recuperative care, which is simply a place for people who are unsheltered to be able to come and recover from an illness, whatever that illness may be. And at our Recuperative Care Center, which we have 21 beds there, and we had here, I am here right now, on this campus, and we have 14 rooms. So that's a number of people that can not go straight back to the streets to recover. So that is the basics of recuperative care. We see people from every hospital. They refer to us from all of the local medical facilities in Memphis. We see people who have had those outpatient surgeries or big surgeries, amputations. We shelter folks who are having cancer treatment, which is a big deal to be able to be in a safe, clean environment, get meals regularly while you're doing that cancer treatment. So that has been a wonderful experience for us to be able to renovate a space that is the Collins Chapel Congregational Hospital, a very historic place in Memphis in the medical district, and use this space for really what it was created for, to care for people who are on the margins, who are not going to get that care any other place.
I think it's so cool how God has used this space to repurpose it in a way that fits Room in the Inn's mission so well, and not just bulldoze it to the ground. Of course, a lot of renovations that need to be made as well, and that's the importance of, financial gifts and such for the nonprofit, but also to be able to repurpose this hospital into a safe haven for so many. And when you were talking about outpatient surgeries and such, I was even thinking of like my mother who had spinal surgery, and she, several years ago. It was outpatient, and they sort of just like, after this world-renowned doctor took care of her, brought her back to health, but she still wasn't 100%, and they just sort of like gave her to my dad and I, and were like, okay, there you go home.
Right.
And so I can't imagine being unhoused and in a place of already in a sort of like a fight or flight poverty mindset of like, where do I go now? And then to have needing care and hospitality, not knowing where to go. I mean, that just adds an entirely different layer to your situation. And so to be able to have this recuperative care center is just monumental for mid-Southerners to be able to know that they're going to be taken care of. And that's one of your main pillars. You also have the Family Inn, which serves as really a critical resource for families that are unhoused. Share about the support and advocacy provided to these families.
In the same way that we initially saw the gap in services for people who were medically fragile, we saw it for families, for parents who had children, often single parents who were taking care of children on the street, getting them to school every day, but not having anywhere to lay their head at night. And so we started seeing more and more of those families coming to us for Congregational Shelter, which was wonderful that we had that option. But again, as with those people who are medically fragile, it is not ideal for children to go from place to sleep every night. And so the other gap that what Room in the Inn's board and what our mission has been from the beginning is not to duplicate services in Memphis, because we have so many people doing wonderful things, but to fill gaps. So that was the other gap that we saw, was not enough shelter for families with children. So on the same campus, we have a Family Inn, which has 14 rooms for families that are unhoused, that have a goal of being rehoused and maybe in rapid rehousing programs, that we can offer case management so that they can achieve those goals. it's a place of respite from just having to think every day where you're going to go at night. These are hardworking parents. Many of them work jobs, just don't make enough money to secure housing in our city. So they go to their jobs during the day. Their children go to schools here in Memphis. Childcare is always an issue for them. There's not enough childcare that's affordable, so we're looking at that gap next. But having a space for them to feel at home, to watch the school bus stop in front of our building and children get off feeling as if they've come home. They get regular meals. They have a place that they can play, a bed that is theirs, and then somebody cheering them on as they go through that process for rehousing.
When we were touring your facility, we ran into a mom, and I believe it was a small daughter, probably 2 years old, that she was carrying. And one of your coworkers was walking them around and showing them, like, here's where, you're going to be able to stay. And they showed them, like, hey, if you need diapers, here are the diapers. And like, you could see the shoulders just relax on the mom, going, okay, like, this is step one of many steps that I can check off, saying I have this covered, and my daughter and my child and I are going to be able to have a place that we can call home for a short while, but a while, so I can get either back on my feet or be able to provide for my family. And like you said, many of them have jobs, and childcare is such a huge issue, and I'm affordable childcare at that. And so I'm really excited that you all plan to tackle that next. There are many ways to give back to Room in the Inn. What is the process for a congregation to become involved with Room in the Inn, or what roles do volunteers play in your programs?
So each congregation will usually come to us for information first, and there is some information on our website about how to become a host congregation. We have staff available to help train your volunteers. Usually the congregation will have a couple of people that step up to be coordinators of their particular Room in the Inn site, and then we offer some training for them to train their volunteers. It takes 8 to 10 people to do the whole night, and that includes people who make beds, people who do the cooking, people who help clean up, people that are there for the hospitality, and 2 people that spend the night overnight. So it's really not a big cumbersome kind of experience. Most people end up saying, oh, this isn't as hard as we thought it was going to be. We also have several locations. There are always congregations who say, we don't really have a place in our building that this would work, but we want to be involved. We have a number of locations that share space. So we have a downtown location at Calvary Episcopal Church. We have a Germantown location at Germantown United Methodist Church. We have a medical center location at the Ozanam Center, St. Vincent de Paul Soup Kitchen building. We have Christ the King Lutheran that shares their space in the East Memphis. So we have so many different locations, and these are congregations who love the mission of Room in the Inn and have loved being part of it, that they are literally opening up their own space to other congregations to share. So that's been pretty wonderful too. So it's really not as hard as it might, it seems pretty heavy when you start thinking about it, but there's also lots of support. Our staff is always available for support. The nights that congregations host, we're on call that whole night. If you have a question or you have something, you just call one of us and we're there to support you. And so I think it's something that, well, often people in congregationals will say, we get far more than we put into this. What it does for us is more than we could ever offer to the guest. And I think that's what's beautiful about Room in the Inn.
It really is beautiful. Well said. And you also, for those individual volunteers that are looking for ways to give back, you have plenty of those opportunities. And also, if you follow Room in the Inn Memphis on social media, they post every Thursday. There are things that they need for them. And so talk about some of the things that you will post throughout the year for things that you need on Thursday.
Right. Volunteers are we love having volunteers in our building, on campus. The churches love volunteers from even outside of their congregation. So you can go to the website and see who those congregations are, or call us and we'll hook you up with those folks. We have our volunteer coordinator loves connecting people to what they love doing. We have volunteer opportunities in our kitchen just to help serve. We have people that come and help us with painting and cleaning and all sorts of things. You can imagine that it takes a whole lot of cleaning supplies to keep this place clean. So we often ask for people to donate cleaning supplies. We have a wish list on Amazon that makes it really easy. You don't even have to bring it to us. It will come straight to us. And then on Thursdays, our staff always knows that they can say, oh, here's some things that we need. And it may be seasonal. We always need some basics, just different sizes of underwear and diapers and t-shirts and cleaning supplies. And we always need those things. That need never goes away. But there are some things that happen, like we might be getting ready for Easter in particular. From this last week, we posted, we just need Easter stuff, Easter baskets and things to put in those baskets, and different things for the guests that are going to be here while during Easter season. So that's what's great about that Thursday list, because it can be school supplies during certain times of years. It can be games for our summer day camp in the summer for the families that are staying with us. Or it could be, we need toilet paper this week. So it's kind of whatever the need is of the week. So that's a great way to stay involved.
It really is. And keep it top of mind as well. Every Thursday, we know that there's going to be an item or several that we can jump on Amazon and have it shipped to Room in the Inn or whatnot. Lastly, what puts a smile on your face when you look at the work that you and your team have been able to do to house the unhoused and to provide hospitality, holy hospitality to your community?
You saying that just made me think this is incredibly hard work. But I think if you visit this campus, you see nothing but joy. And what really makes me happy every day is seeing the people that work here and the people who are staying here in shelter, caring about each other. It's a two-way experience, and always makes me smile to be greeted by our guests when I come in the morning, asking me how I am. Before I can even get those words out of my mouth for them. Also, knowing that there are so many people in Memphis that are getting a chance to do what they know is the right thing to do. We all want to help. We all know the problem is big, and we all wring our hands and say, homelessness is too big. What are we going to do about this? But Room in the Inn gives a very practical way to have hands-on experience with making a difference. And seeing so many different kinds of people, Episcopalians and Catholics and Presbyterians and Methodists and Jewish synagogues and, just any Baptist, you can, anything you can name, Lutherans. And it's just so exciting to me to have so many different people in a time in life where we feel like nobody agrees on anything. I can tell you 50 churches who agree on hospitality for people who are living unsheltered. And that makes me happy. And I think that is achieving our mission.
Good answer. Well said. And I totally agree. As someone who's come into your space and you know that your guests are experiencing grief, adversity, poverty, but they have a smile on their face and they are jovial with your staff, and your staff is helping them. And together there's a sense of hospitality at the helm of it all. And that's the great work that you are doing. Where can people go to support your efforts, to follow you, to come by and take a tour and make a difference with Room in the Inn?
I would love for you to go to the website or look up our Facebook page. I think you can find information there pretty easily. But the web page has places for volunteer opportunities, specific volunteer opportunities. Also, there is a donate button on every page, I think, and of course, it takes a lot of resources to meet the needs of the people that we serve. So every little bit helps in that situation. But we would love to have you in person come and see this. I rarely ask anybody to invest in this work if they haven't experienced it. So, give us a chance to show you what it looks like, and you'll be hooked. So you can go to the website and find the address of the volunteer coordinator. You can email me at lisa@ritimemphis.org. I'll love to show you around and set up a tour time anytime that is good for you. We love having people in this building, and we can find a way for you to experience what we do every day.
Lisa, thank you and your team for your dedication to providing sanctuary, safety, and support to the most vulnerable here in Memphis. It's truly inspiring, and the work that you and Room in Memphis is doing is truly making a difference. Once again, it's ritimemphis.org to learn more. Thank you, Lisa, for powering the good in our community and for coming on the show.
Thank you, Andrew. Telling the story is important, and we appreciate the opportunity to do that.